Awesome. Good afternoon. I would first like to thank Future of Architecture for this fantastic opportunity. My name is Helena Rong, and I'm currently a researcher at MIT Real Estate Innovation Lab, as well as the Sensible City Lab led by Professor Colorati. I'm also the founder and principal at CIVIS, which is a Boston-based practice in architectural and urban design. So a little bit about us. We are a collective of designers and researchers from MIT and Harvard University, where we have extensive research experience in various urban technology and design practice, where we continue to build upon our connections with various research labs from Harvard and MIT as our back-end think tanks. And we're inspired by the word civis, which in Latin means both citizen and city. And CIVIS is characterized by a human-centric and omni-disciplinary approach that provides a common ground for designers, planners, scientists, and engineers to work and collaborate. We operate across scales and fields, from digital product design to architectural design, smart city strategies, as well as our economic development advisements. And today, it's my honor to share with you our project entitled Collective Intelligence in City Design, which is a proposal for an open source citizen engagement platform for the practice of architectural and urban design, which is a topic that many of the other fellows have touched upon today, but I would like to approach it from a more technological perspective. So what is happening in the last 2 decades with technology? Advancements in data collection and computing is giving rise to a new form of urbanism, sometimes called the networked urbanism, which is data-driven solutions informed by connected infrastructure and things. With this, there is an ongoing global trend. City making and urban creation is no longer just led by architects and planners, but technology conglomerates with vast means to compute data and collect data as well as to analyze them in order to enhance management efficiency. So from Google Sidewalk Labs to Cisco's intervention in Songdo Business District to Alibaba's involvement with the Xiong'an district in China, as well as X roads in the entire nation of Estonia. These giant corporates are actually becoming a huge player in the urban arena, which representing a fundamentally different attitudes towards urban creation. Oh, oops, did I just? Oh, okay. Yeah. So as cities are competing for smart status, myriad sensors are installed in the built environment, measuring pretty much everything, but oftentimes passively collecting information without the knowledge or consent of the citizens. And the Capture Real-Time City supposedly is responsive to both infrastructural and citizen needs, and they're creating a more desirable environment for people to live without even asking them. However, if this is the case, then how come Songdo International Business District has become a ghost town, as some people claim, since its population has only attracted for a quarter of its anticipated population? Although the smart city model has been hailed by technocratic enthusiasts as a solution to the sustainable city challenge for almost 2 decades, it has increasingly been critiqued for being overly technocratic and top-down in orientation, which is omitting a qualitative factor such as cultural vibrancy and community bonding. Such challenges and issues are faced by projects such as Google Sidewalk Labs, Smart City project in Toronto, especially on issues of lack of engagement, as well as privacy and data ownership issues. We can say with confidence that technology alone does not provide a vibrant community and make a city smart. As data-driven solutions are becoming the norm, the agency of citizens becomes increasingly left out of the equation. And this has led to the rethinking of smart city, from smart city to smart citizen. So on the left, Sherry Arnstein's ladder of citizen engagement, citizen participation provides a useful theoretical device for structuring citizen participation in determining the end product based on agency and access to power. In many other aspects of our lives, the internet empowers the wisdom of crowd not through mere data collection and statistical mean finding, but rather through open-ended mode of aggregatory versioning, where the collective knowledge of a community is garnered by inviting all agents to the conversation. So one here thinks of Wikipedia, for instance. How should these new conditions change the process of research and design, especially in architecture and urban design, which in a sense is traditional compared to all of these other more software-based disciplines? So we ask ourselves, how is digital participation changing the role citizens and end users play in planning and design and decision-making processes? What digital tools can be developed to facilitate the interaction between different players in shaping the city? And lastly, how can designers use this data to negotiate various interests of different social groups through designing spatial adjacencies, shared spaces, and hybrid programming? The way we currently do site research is based on many preconceived notions and secondary sources or brief one-time site visits. Traditional community meetings and workshops do take place in order to keep the general public informed, but typically they're limited to a small group of people, especially in the US. So in this project, our idea is to introduce a new process which facilitates continuous conversation between end users with other official stakeholders. In this project, we're designing a system and tool which would interface between designers and end users throughout the different phases of a project. And this is all contributing to the larger discourse of participatory design approaches happening in the industry and academia. So to contextualize the problem, we are collaborating with an architect and real estate developer in Thailand on a site called Ansilat, which is 91 kilometers southeast of Bangkok city proper. The site is a 35-acre vacant land located in the touristic province of Chonburi, which is currently seeking novel IoT infrastructure initiatives. That's why they're very welcoming of the proposals that we're setting forth. The plot is adjacent to one of the oldest historical fishing village in Thailand, a rich ecological feature of mangrove forest located in this plot over here. As Chonburi develops in tourism, the challenge lies in preserving vernacular culture and strong ecological features on the site while accommodating new needs of incoming tourists. Ansilat's unique fishing village culture and mangrove forest are two of the most important and valuable local features under the threat of generic touristic development. People on site can be generalized into 5 types of users. So we have the local Ansilat primarily concerned with business opportunities and locality preservation. We also have the other group of local, which is the repeat clientele who are living in gated communities surrounding neighborhoods with few options for leisure. We have the good old environmentalist who is concerned with ecological preservation and public education. We have 2 types of non-locals. One is out-of-town Thai, so these are people coming from Bangkok to seek a relaxing weekend stay. And lastly, we have the foreigner, foreign tourist seeking adventure and fun. In this demo, we have created a cast of characters with various age groups, marital status, income bracket, and diverse mix of interests and goals. The variety of characters are unique and unique site conditions of Ansilat provides complex enough of a situation where we can evaluate how design and development can benefit from negotiating the voices of different people. Against this context, the goal is to create programs and spaces that could accommodate and negotiate different needs and integrate local narratives, habits, and cultures into newly developed tourism. Our tool is called CODAS, Co-Design Ansilat. In a second, I will show you a hypothetical design process as a continuous conversation between these different people and potential designers. And so this CODAS is consisting of both digital and physical features, which the tool is creating an interface between the different stakeholders and inviting contributions from large amounts of audience on the site. We are creating an emotional census of Ansilat neighborhoods and a digital overlay of the city's personal narratives and perceptions to provide granular neighborhood insights. Initially, several information objects are introduced to key public spaces to begin informing the public about the development project and CODAS initiative. These physical stations can exist as a standalone pavilion, a kiosk inside major public spaces such as a cafe or restaurant, or simply urban furniture with ingrained information, and this is dependent on how much funding can go into the physical building of these objects. And they're anchored on site where you can continue to stay informed and get information. Taking advantage of existing social media, CODAS incentivizes participation and data contribution from the bottom up. So in Thailand, most people use this app called Line, which is very similar to WhatsApp or WeChat, where people organize their social life. Citizens can connect with the CODAS by adding a Line chatbot and receives notification whenever a question is deployed or an announcement is made. So how would this tool become beneficial? Users first receive questions from the Line chatbot and respond to give their input in the form of text, images, videos, or votes. The open source web platform geospatially locates the crowdsourced information and visualizes key information of the project over time. And depending on the nature of the question, each data collection period has a different expiration date. So when a user initially connects with the CODAS Line chatbot, they get a message that introduces the project and goals of the data collection. Users then receive a quick survey. Just gonna quickly. Okay, so users then receive a quick survey while ensuring the security and anonymity of the data collection at hand. And CODAS chatbot asks about their locality, frequency of visit, age bracket, and family size, and classifies them as one of the categories I have mentioned earlier. And next, I will play the remainder of the demo as a video, so while I'm talking over it. Just quick switch. So, oh, wait, does this have to?
You should be quick
Just
now.
need to go to the, okay. Okay, yeah. So here we are on the web interface, web portal of the project. And the information that's collected on the app end is mapped onto the web interface, displaying information geospatially distributed of interest from different user groups. The web dashboard keeps a tally of total number of people participating and allows for filtering of information based on different groups and age bracket. Displays the phasing of the project, allows the browsing of other survey questions, and shows highlights and insights of the collected data, such as keyword sentiment analysis and voting results, as well as a section for additional information. And during the research phase, the question is deployed to gather information about how existing hotspots to gain local insights and preferences and existing habits. So asking them, what's your favorite place to hang out, for instance, on the weekend? A small reward system motivates the user to contribute their input, for example, launching an image challenge for the best picture. This scenario shows how we can use crowdsourced strategies to gain granular neighborhood insights otherwise difficult to collect. And in this example, we can also see the tool can be used to see how a program can be temporarily launched onto a site. And during the design phase, we're continuously learning about more information about the different users, and which these input in the end would actually contribute to changing adjacencies and locations of designs from the in the phases that come afterwards. So as we can see that on the web portal, in the different phases, you can see how the programs have changed over time and what sort of comments and contributions of data have contributed to these changes. So the crowdsourced information helps designers to design spaces to accommodate various temporary uses and programs. And in the end, even after the design and construction phases, the CODAS stays connected with users to inform new information and gain further feedback during the post-occupancy stages. The brief demonstration I have shown you just now demonstrates is a reductive version to convey the idea, but if we imagine this idea to be scaled up to include hundreds and thousands of people's inputs, this tool and process could provide an alternative way to gather information, conduct micro-scale research, engage the collective, and for designers to utilize the data collected to optimize the design through negotiating different user needs. This project questions smartness, the way in which seductive logic of smartness could distort our views of cities, and articulates an alternative path to understanding and adapting to the context from bottom up. The key question is not what an internet city will look like, but a user-generated city. Thank you, and I look forward to the discussion.
Thank you.